So I want to cover some things on this stream. I'm going to do a few streams based off this. Hopefully three. I'm aiming for three, but it could be over maybe four. Basically, examining the comments in the video clip that I uploaded to this channel about 10 months ago or a year ago, somewhere around there, of Sarah Jane. You see on the screen the from the film The Imitation of Life. I didn't upload the whole film, just clips, some notable clips from that film. And it's an interaction basically portraying a mulatta, as you see on the screen, and then her black mother. And this is a film, popular film. Think this specific film that I, uploaded and kind of showcased was from 1959. So literally, that's like what, close to 70 years ago. But they do have an original film of The Imitation of Life. So this one you see on the screen, the image, this is actually kind of like a remake of one of the original films. So it's a very popular story. And yeah, and the thing is, like when I uploaded the clip to this channel here, I did not imagine it would get this much traction. It has close to 400,000 views and it has 2,000 over 2,600 comments. So there's a lot of engagement from this particular clip that I uploaded, and I don't own the rights to this clip. So I'm just, letting it be known I'm going to delete this clip, going to delete it from this channel. But before that, I want to highlight some of the comments that people put on the video clip that I uploaded because I think it's worthy enough and it's good material to cover. So let me get into it right now. And like I said, there's so many friggin' comments, it's over 2,600 comments. I'm like, wow. I mean, I was kind of thinking, well, I could do it in 3 streams. I don't think so. I'll be here forever. So I'm going to try my best, but I'm going to start from the first comment and kind of work my way up. Okay. And of course, guys, you have my email on the screen here, mulattovanguard@gmail.com. If you guys have any material you want to cover, you want me to cover or talk about, go ahead and email me, shoot me an email. I did receive a few emails from you people the past few days. I will get back to, I promise, just busy, as usual. But I appreciate you guys and your engagement and your dedication to the discussion. So I went back to the first comment. We have Briella Sorn Fonte. Shout out to her. I think it's Mulatta Northern Lights. She also goes by. First comment. Let's check it out. She puts, and this is under the video clip, like I said, with Imitation of Life. It's on my channel. Just click the videos and you'll click the most popular video on my channel. It's the first one that's going to pop up. So she puts, is this because black women and some of the mixed children they have are saying that they are better and that they come out better than mixed people with white moms and black dads? I mean, that's a common misconception that you see specifically on TikTok. I see it more over there than I do over here on YouTube. Because on YouTube, you have some people who fall into that trap, but they're more kind of divester leaning. Like they get hoodwinked by the kind of black female supremacist circles, if you want to call it like BWE circles, whatever. So there's a few YouTubers who have danced around that issue and tried to act like they're special. But what happens is majority of their audience is basically kind of black females. They cater to that. And so, but that's mainly on TikTok. You see a lot of that where they try to act like they're special. And the thing is, it's not them, it's not the mulatto or biracial people that some of them play along with that, but they get mocked and laughed at, right? It's monoracial, it's black people, it's black females. Let me be specific, and ultra specific black American females who are gonna push that rhetoric that their child that they had with the white guy is going to be more in tuned to the black culture, if that makes sense. You have a child with a white Anglo-Saxon man, but yet your child with your white man is going to be more in tune with their black culture. If you can make sense out of that, take it for what it is. But That's rhetoric people are pushing, and I mainly see that on TikTok. So, but the clip here, like what I'm talking about with the imitation of life, this is from, and there's a nuance because of the time period. There's like what 1959, I think, when the video, the the movie was produced and broadcasted to the public. But I'm not exactly sure when the period of time. Like I said, they had an original version of the film, so when it takes place, I apologize. But this is over 100 years, a long time ago, guys, very long time ago. So there's all these other nuances. It's not specifically just the black mom, white mom dynamic, because that's kind of a new phenomenon that these, I would say, Zoomers, Gen Z, are kind of pushing more so. I don't believe the older kind of millennial or Xers are pushing that as much as we see the Zoomers pushing that. But good comment. Thank you, Mulatta Northern Light or Briella Sorn Fonte. And then I have Skinny Pimp puts here, this was a hateful scene. She intentionally sabotaged that little girl for her own selfish purposes, then played victim as if jealous, trying to steal her light. Sick. Now, what or he or she, whatnot, pimp kind of indicates is probably a male. But what it is that they're talking about the clip where the mother in the, I'm not going to play the clip because of copyright issues. Like I said, I'm going to get rid of I'm going to delete the clip from this channel. I just want to highlight these comments first. But the what the commenter here is putting is that where it's like the black mom of her daughter, biracial daughter, Sarah Jane, mulatto daughter, um, where basically the commenter saying, well, the black mom tried to sabotage her own daughter for her own selfish purposes, but then later on played victim because the mulatto daughter distanced herself and didn't want to be recognized as being part of blackness per se, if I can say that. You guys know the film. You guys can have your own opinion on it. Please, I want you guys to add to the conversation. Like I said, there's a lot of nuances because it's gendered. Like this is a female and mother and daughter scenario. Like there's only so much I can provide with my commentary. Very different with someone like me. But I'm definitely open and welcome to the public for you guys to engage. So we have Val here. She puts, I think it shows how far we have come. The mother wanted the daughter to accept her. The daughter was shamed into denying her mother due to her race. The majority of the scene wasn't even the first scene. It's something horrible they both had to deal with their entire life due to society. It shows how much society has changed for the better, right? Because in the clip that you guys will see here, that's supposed to take place in like the 1950s, somewhere around there, right? Or prior. So that's literally like over 70 years ago, right? During that time, the mother should have let her be white passing and swallowed her pride. Because the thing is with the film, you'll see is where the mom shows up everywhere in public, and doesn't look like her daughter, right? But the mom shows up to kind of take pride and be like, that's my daughter, that's my mulatta. And they kind of hold the mulatta as a prize. I mean, that's in this case, in this film, that's the case. But I've seen it kind of in real life as well. You have like a dark skinned female, she'll hold this like light skin or whatever mixed child, kind of be like, this is my prize. I created this, as like a trophy, right? If you guys, understand, the daughter showed the daughter should have shown a little more grace. Fact is, even if the mother didn't show up, whites found out in other ways sometimes, and what she was doing was illegal and dangerous, trying to pass as white. So basically, back then, you had to be ashamed of your black mother due to whites. Today, you have to be ashamed of your white mother due to blacks. Oh, and then Val has a black mom and a white dad. So in her analysis is very interesting, just because how she can sees that she sees the trends, and she's commented and posted a ton of comments over the past year or maybe 2 years by now, where she's basically laid it out. She's saying she saw on social media, on TikTok and these other places, how a lot, like right now, there's a lot of racist, radical, black supremacist African American people who are super racist to white mom biracial people. And it's kind of put biracial people with white moms in a box. It's forced them to galvanize to create their own spaces. because they look at the black terrorism and the racism, so they're forced to create their own situation. And this is what she's putting right here. She's saying today, you have to be ashamed of your white mother due to blacks. I mean, I could add to this right now because there's a lady. It's funny the coincidence because there's another lady, Mulatta, who has a black mom and a white dad. She shared, we're talking behind the scenes. We've been talking for over years, good mutuals, but she shared something, a clip today. It was over on TikTok. You find a lot of this data on TikTok, and she shared a video with me where it's a white mom biracial who's talking crap about her own white heritage, talking about Neanderthal DNA. But she's trying to do that to impress black people. It's very pitiful and sad. But it was this mulatto woman, not Val, somebody else, but has a black mom, white mom, who shared the clip with me. So like I'm in contact and I coordinate with a lot of mulattoes. Just so you guys know, clearly, if you want mulatto centered content, the authority you're going to have on this in social media is me. Don't need to toot my own horn, but I'm kind of the guy that you run stuff by and we examine it and I broadcast it to the public. So a lot of people contact me. And of course, you guys can always contact me. Hit up my email right here, mulattovanguard@gmail.com. Go on my Instagram, message me. I'm available. But it's just a coincidence. I'm not going to share that clip right now. I might do that another time, but it's like it would be so fitting and perfect if I could present that here because that's literally what I saw today on TikTok. A clip of a white mom, biracial lady talking crap about her own white heritage to appease black people on TikTok. Very pitiful. But that's the modus operandi today for a lot of these biracials who are black identified to get acceptance into the black society. They have to be ashamed of their white mom because black people will try to tell them, well, you not like us. Like, look at what the situation with Drake. They're trying to say Drake's not like them because he has a white mom in Canada. We're like, what the hell does that have to do with anything? He sings and raps and does R&B. He's been singing and rapping since he was a kid, a baby, since he was like 9 years old. You see videos of him with his black father, black American father, singing and dancing and rapping and singing since he was 9 years old. But they want to take that away and throw that away and say, well, you got a white mom and you're up in Canada in a suburb. We're like, oh, that's, very fitting. They weaponize the one drop rule, pick and choose. But how they kind of position it to where you have to throw your own parent under the bus is a despicable situation. My goal is to encourage these mulattoes to look at your history, have some pride. Do not throw your parents under the bus to appease anybody. Family is everything. Don't worry about these strangers. Stop trying to get acceptance from them. Okay. Deal with the reality that you're mulatto. Take some pride and let's move forward. So, and she puts, least AAs don't make rules for anyone and we'd be in trouble. At least AAs, African Americans, don't make rules for anybody or we'd be in trouble. Yeah, they don't make the rules, but for whatever reason, socially, a lot of biracial people basically abide by their guidelines. And then they get the kind of the ish end of the stick and they're sitting there thinking to themselves, well, what's in it for me? What do I get? There's nothing out of this, right? I guess membership access, but it's funny because it's conditional. They can take it from you at any moment. Then you kind of sit there and realize, okay, this really doesn't make sense, you know, right? You can be a bad person. They're not going to question your blackness because you're black, right? But you as a mulatto, you have to be perfectly perfect, right? If you do anything, that they don't like, then all of a sudden you're anti-black, you're colorist. So it's like, wait a second, I thought I was black like everyone else. So what's really going on? I thought we're all the same. So it's why, special rules for you. It should wake you guys up. I think a lot of you guys are waking up, and I love to see that. But I would love to see it, happen at a more rapid speed, be honest with you. With all the information that's out there, especially the whole situation with Kendrick and Drake, the macrocosm level, that really should have woke you guys up. Because I've been talking this for almost 3 years now. So way before the whole not like us, racist fiasco, right? So you guys should have already kind of got the memo that this is what's going on in real time. Says all you had to say is that you have a low attention span. I could have wrote you a different reply that was much more dumbed down for your level. Do you need me to? Okay, wouldn't take long. Okay, she's going back and forth with somebody else. The mama don't take no shine away from her. She just be on dat emotional female ish dog dems. Wouldn't be crying and ish. I don't know. You aren't acting like you should be on this channel. And of course, she's a moderator. She's got the mulatto flag in her avatar. So yeah, she's a moderator. She's somebody who definitely holds it down. You aren't acting like you should be on this channel. I mean, I saw a few of your comments. You seem really red pill based. Are you going to act normal? Are you incapable of even pretend to be normal? I don't know if you are black or mulatto, but this channel isn't for losers to whine about their lack of cat. You should just go to IG and pay for it so you can stop whining about it online. Interesting. So she was going back and forth with somebody. I don't know what that whole situation is. So Celtic Mulatto is a day one guy here. He puts, I thought the same. Her black mother knew how it was and the discrimination she would face if they found out she is mulatta. The child is phenotype, as European phenotype, yeah. Let her have a privileged life rather than be treated like a dog or a second class citizen. The only hateful one was Sarah Jane. It was disgusting the way she treated her mother. And there's a white guy here who was going to throw the mulatto under the bus, right? How dare you treat your mother like that? Okay, yeah. And then Bunny, who's also day one here, another lady, mulatto lady. She puts Sarah Jane is just a child. Her mom is the one who is ultimately responsible. She decided to bring a mixed race child into that society with no forethought. I guess the mom didn't think it was necessary for Sarah to have a father either. The guy puts, you're tripping, and he replies, says, it wasn't Annie's fault that she was abandoned. Not everything is always on the mother. Her father should have stepped up and helped to raise his daughter. He replies again, says, no, I'm not. Annie was a sweet, loving, devoted mother who did the best she could. There are so many kids out there who would, uh, you know, would fight to have a mom as wonderful as her. Sarah Jane didn't appreciate her until it was too late. Yeah, that's the case of a lot of people. It's kind of the imitation of life. It's a Hollywood kind of motion picture film, but there's a lot of people out here who are, even if they're not mulatto, they don't fall under this whole kind of you know, I don't want to say spectrum or whatever. Like they don't have the same background. They could just be purely white or purely black, but they don't respect their own mother, their father, their parents until they're gone. Then they realize what they've lost. They've lost someone who cared about them more than anybody else, right? So that's kind of the meaning, the basis of the story. There's just an added layer of nuance there with the racial component as far as mulattoes and our complexity in society. And this is something that we understand, mulattoes understand. But you have people who are not mulatto who are adding commentary on it, and it's interesting to hear what they have to say. But ultimately, the mulattoes know best. That's why we're over here. We're brainstorming. We have our think tank, our information networks. We know what's best. We're sorting it out. We're figuring it out, and we're going to move forward with this. But this is a public platform, so it's always interesting to hear what the people in the public have to say. Just going to load up some of these comments, or I can just kind of move on. Like I said, there's over 2,600 comments. I'm not going to get to all of them, but I'm going to do my best in the several streams. Let's see how this goes. And says, are you male or female? It says, what's that have to do with anything? I don't like shitty people, regardless. He's a dude. I don't know. They're just kind of going back with their commenters. I want to get to more. See, Celtic Mulatto puts, she wasn't hateful towards her mother, in my opinion. It was more frustration that she felt her mother knows how racist the times are, and the daughter, being white, has an upper hand to succeed in not being picked on or discriminated by other children. Yet the mother makes sure the class knows she's her mother, because it's the thing is they want to hold these mulattoes up like it's their trophy. Well, I got a white child, you know. And it goes vice versa as well. You have black women who will do that, and you'll have black males who will do that. They'll hold up their mixed child as a trophy and act like there's, they did something so special by dating or procreating interracially. But the thing here is the timing, the nuance, the generation in the 50s, where it was a time where it's like it was a lot different. Obviously, I didn't live in that era, but interesting nevertheless. But this thing where it's like, yet the mother makes sure the class knows she is her mother, because it's like they want to, like, I'm going to repeat it, to present this mulatta, their child, as like as a prize. And it's insulting, but it also damages the child's reputation in a way as well. So that's why a lot of people are not looking at it through the lens of the mulatto and the mulatto identity. Celtic mulatto is. He's taking the position of the mulatto identity. He's taking the side of the mulatta, looking it through her eyes and sympathizing with her, understanding the reality, the complexities of the situation. Or other people who are monoracial, you see what happens is they're going to take the side of the mom and say, she's such a sweet, honest woman. That biracial daughter was just evil and mean and blah, blah, blah. But see, Celtic mulatto, who's a day one, he has a mulatto consciousness. Okay. So he's taking it from the viewpoint of the mulatto and understands the reality of the situation. Right. So you saw the reaction of everyone, and I'm sure she was not treated good and had friends after. I would give my daughter every advantage to succeed, especially if she passed as a full white person. Mixed race, non whites, and black people were not treated nicely or fairly in those days. The mother knowingly or unknowingly sabotaged her daughter's acceptance into a privileged society. It still is that way today. Exactly. And that's why I like this comment from Celtic Mulatto. Shout out to him because yeah, he is basically showcasing the mulatto consciousness here in a mature fashion, because he's older than me, he's more mature than me, has more knowledge than me. It does a lot of advocacy behind the scenes. You don't see the stuff, public with the YouTube and all this stuff, but he's definitely a proponent for mulatto autonomy. So I appreciate his take there, because we need more people to sympathize with mulattoes, understand where we're coming from. She puts here, Val replying to Skinny Pimp. Do you need to ask if they are male or female so you can say something sexist like you did to me and the most other comments you leave? Yeah, okay. Kind of going back and forth, right? Annie could have been a better mother by marrying a man and getting a commitment before having a baby. More than likely, it was an affair, and the man never had any intentions or future with her. Also, why are they not in the black community? Do they not accept them? Bingo. Isn't that the funny point about this whole film? Because most of the comments you're going to see are going to be from black people. We're definitely going to get into those comments. I'm just starting out, scratching the surface with the beginning of this. But like, if Annie or Sarah Jane is a daughter of Annie, like, if black people were so accepting, why wasn't Sarah Jane accepting to the black community? Why was she trying to move towards the white community, right? And her mom is black, so it's like, well, shouldn't you get the culture from your mom? That's what they tell me. But a lot of these people, they're subscribed or they're hate watching my channel. They don't seem like they're getting that much acceptance from the community, and they're just mad because I'm pointing it out. Like, you're not that much different than me. I don't know what those people over there told you, that you're special, or but you're not. You're still mulatto. I don't care what your mom or your daddy is. You're still you're a mulatto. Okay, buddy? But yeah, Bunny puts out a very interesting point where it's like, why doesn't anybody talk about the blood? Because I thought they were so accepting. They're so accepting, right? But even at that time, no, because you heard Eartha Kitt's testimony. Eartha Kitt, she played Catwoman in the Batman series and Adam West and back in the 1960s. There's public on tape. She publicly told a reporter that like where she grew up in, I guess some plantation, I forgot exactly the region, the state, but she said the black people discriminated against her. They said because she was yellow, she's light skinned, they hated on her because she was mixed. Eartha Kitt, I don't know her configuration. I don't believe she's mulatta, but she could be maybe a griff. if you want to use that term. She could be something else going on, but she wasn't fully black. And even back then, that's the point. In like the 50s, 40s, whatever era Eartha Kitt was talking about, back then, black people still kind of ostracized her and outcasted her. Very interesting, but nobody talks about that. We're not supposed to highlight that. They only want to talk about, well, you're just trying to fit in with the white society. Well, wait a second. If the community is so accepting of biracials, why didn't they accept Sarah Jane? Why didn't Sarah Jane's mom, Annie, bring her to the black community where they can embrace her and be proud to see? It's all a facade, right? You just acting like an activist. It's make believe. All the Afrocentric stuff, it's such a facade that they use to try to get mulattoes to do their dirty work. Too many people fall for it, sadly. You put here, her father should have stepped up to help raise the daughter. LOL, your ideology is way out of context for that time period. 40s and 50s. Or he should manipulated her into thinking they had a future together and threw her aside once. Yeah. If Sarah Jane just would have accepted her blackness from the beginning, different outcome, but can understand her reasoning ish. She still happens today with the minute amount of blacks of all shades. Well, blacks don't come in all shades. So you're pushing this one dropping crap. Sarah Jane accepts her blackness. She doesn't even look like she's a black because she's not. She's a white father. She's mixed, right? And so like this whole idea of blacks of all shades, black comes in limited shades of black and dark brown. So if they're considerably light skinned, if they're not albino, then they have admixture. Now, I don't claim them as mulatto. Mulatto, you got to have one white parent, one black parent, or two mulatto parents. So if they have like a mulatto parent and like a MGM or a quote unquote griff parent, like to me, they're not mulatto. I don't claim them. They can be light skinned black or mixed race or something like that. That's perfectly fine. I get it. They're mixed race. That's cool. They're not mulatto though. So I'm going to be the one to set the standard here because nobody else is doing it because they'll be labeled as kind of divisive, right? But you have to have some criteria and standard to work with and operate off of. And I'm going to be the guy that has to do it. So yeah, black does not come in all shades unless they're like albino or something like that. And that is basically a mutation, a genetic kind of mutation, right? They only just disassociate with any and everything in a black community: spouse, attire, speech, neighborhood, schools. But the world always reminds them who they are. But this is like, we know right away this guy is a black guy. Is a guy, right? We know right away he's black because just the language. We see this everywhere. This is what, a year ago, 11 months ago. Everywhere you go, it's the same type of comment. Just the syntax is kind of switched up and altered, but it's literally the same verbatim. You just got to accept your blackness. The world sees you as black. The world's going to remind you as black, right? You're rejecting your blackness. We've seen that a lot, okay? Nothing new. No blacks remind them they don't have black in them and no one else. Yeah, the blacks will remind. He's replying. Shout out to him. He's replying to him, letting him know, yeah, well, actually, that's what I told you about Eartha Kitt. She was reminded back then in the 50s or 40s, whatnot, on whatever kind of plantation, I think sharecropper plantation she grew up on, where the blacks there reminded her that she wasn't a part of them. She was high yellow, right? She had some white in her. She wasn't black like them, right? So they'll remind you, they'll let you know. Creole lady, the Creole queen, beautiful Creole lady. She got some comments here. She puts, Sarah Jane's dad was white passing. He wasn't white. So her mom probably didn't assume that she was bringing a very mixed race child into the world who could even come out looking white. This whole scenario is crazy, unlikely. It's already rare to come out looking fully white when you have a full white parent, but coming out looking fully white when you have a black parent and a mixed race white passing parent, pretty unrealistic. She adds another comment. She puts here, looks like my other comment disappeared, but Sarah Jane's dad wasn't white. Annie says earlier in the movie that he was, quote unquote, almost white, aka white passing. So she didn't necessarily decide to bring a super mixed race child into the world. Yes, she's still somewhat MGM, mixed through her dad, but not downright biracial. Annie didn't sleep with the white man. I'm sure she didn't assume she'd have a white passing child for a man who is also African in ancestry. The whole scenario is pretty unrealistic. It's already rare enough to come out white passing when you have a black parent and a white one. But to come out white passing, that's not true though, because Sarah Gather is white passing. She looks pretty white to me, to everyone. And she has a black father and a white mother. But again, they said exceptions. She said it's pretty rare. But I'm just letting you know, we have someone at Duke University, Sarah Gather, academic, who does kind of scratch the surface and cover some kind of, mixed race, quote unquote mixed race content, not mulatto, but mixed race material. And she's basically a white woman, but she has a black father, but she's not black. So yeah, let's continue on. Black parent, a white one, and to come out white passing when you have a black parent, another who's mixed with black. Super unrealistic, not impossible, I guess, because something's impossible. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like you're taking the side of, I don't know what I get from this comment here. I don't know. What do you guys think? Or what does Creole Lady think if she watches this? Suppose I could tag her and she can provide some clarity for the comment. Because I don't know. Like, yeah, I guess the father was MGM or mixed or white passing, whatever. But that's the whole point is that this is a woman, Sarah Jane, who's clearly not black. And she's trying to make it into the higher echelon in society, which at that time, white society, even today, you could say still white society. But why was the black mom constantly trying to remind the world that that's her daughter? And it's like, just leave your daughter alone, give her some space, right? That's the point that I'm trying to get at, taking it from the mulatto viewpoint. This movie should not be given any reference. Imitation of Life was released in 1959, roughly 4 generations ago. My mother, teenager, yeah. Notice the title Imitation of Life is a double entendre. Imitation means fake, not the real thing. This is a fictitious story, yet the expression imitation of life, while clearly stating it is not true, is often taken to mean true to real life. The characters portrayed, especially the high yellow girl, Sarah Jane, are fake. I grew up on a street where every house had a high yellow or light skinned mixed person. I didn't know of and have never seen any mulatto or mixed person, male or female, who denies their black ancestors, especially not their mother who raised them directly. More to this point, Mulatto Vanguard has posted short videos of mixed people who continually are denied acceptance, AA part of the black community. Check this link, an African YouTuber video criticizing the mixed woman in the Guardian's original video story, the source of Mulatto Vanguard's snippet. Observe the YouTuber Kenyan Beast ridicule those mixed people's claims of African ancestry. In fact, my dark-skinned African American mother did not want her black friends knowing she had a white man's baby. My true life factual experience has been the black mother is a traitor to black people for giving it up to a white man, to that white man for torching the relationship between our family, and ultimately to me secreting me from the black community, secreting me, using me as the ultimate hurt to her black mother and abandoning me to her mother in the context of mixed child is not the villain the black mother is. Now, I take the position of Sarah Jane, of course, because I'm mulatto identified. That's what I'm trying to get the public to understand, especially for the mulattoes. I mean, like I said, everyone's going to tune in, black, white, everyone's going to listen, tune in to the content. It's a public platform. That's the point. But the goal here is to spread mulatto consciousness, to get mulattoes to see other mulattoes as your people, sympathize, relate, identify with those who are like you. This is the basis of community formation, identity formation. So this is the goal here by what sharing this clip. And so many people added comments. I never really provided I had a couple comments I replied to. We'll get into that in the future, but so many people added their 2 cents into this. It was great material for me. But yeah, the mixed child, the mulatto, Sarah Jane is not the villain. Not the villain. And you'll see who takes the side of the mom. It's all going to be a bunch of black women, which makes sense. But then again, their tool is to weaponize the one drop rule against you to keep you as their subordinate. Black males do it too, but in this case, because it involves a black female, they're gonna definitely take her side against the mulatta. My goal is to get mulattoes to stick up, stand for, defend, and honor the integrity of mulattoes. I think I'm doing a pretty good job. What do you guys think? This movie's purpose is to do to mulattoes, mixed people, high yellow, light skinned folk, what D.W. Griffin's movie Birth of a Nation did to African American dark skinned people, maligning us and villainizing light complected mixed people as traitors to black people, and people that even in modern times are still trying to deceive whites by passing and pretend to be white. This movie is an insult to mixed people. It is. It is. The whole premise is this: the tragic mulatto premise is what the whole film is kind of based off of. And it paints Sarah Jane as being negative and hating on her mom, and they don't examine the complexities surrounding the nuances there. They just want to attack this woman, Sarah Jane. Attack, I mean, basically kind of demean, right? Saying she didn't treat her mom right. Yeah. So a better movie that more honestly depicts the plight of mixed person, of how she more realistically reacts to her mother and father, both white and black people, is the miniseries Queen. And I did talk briefly about that. I watched it. It was interesting. Kind of tragic for sure. Halle Berry did a good job. Love Halle Berry. I wish she identified as mulatta. She doesn't, but nevertheless, she's a great actress. I love Halle Berry. Beautiful woman. Very talented mulatta. But yeah, the Queen series was good. And premiering on CBS in 1993, Queen is made famous modern day actress Halle Berry, a household name and the face of mulattoes in America. Yeah, the aesthetic is, superb. She's like a 60-year-old woman, and she looks better than like most women out here, even she's her age, just blessed with good genetics or symmetry, but she doesn't identify as mulatto. Okay, and people could say it's advantageous for her because of Hollywood. You see that same scenario with like a Zendaya and you know, um, a lot of them. Let's just be honest, right? Paula Patton, or whatever. She's not even like A level. She's like B or C level actress, but pretty mulatta, but she's not like famous. Okay, but you see that where they just identify as just black solely, and it's like, you know. So I don't know. I wouldn't really go that far to call her the face of mulattoes. I promote her with my social media because she's beautiful. And I like her. I like all of her movies. They're really good. Holly Berry, but I wouldn't say she's a face of mulattoes. Now we need a mulatta identified woman that's going to be promoted to be the face of mulattoes. Okay, she's mulatta, that's cool. She's black identified. She's not going to be the face of mulattoes. Just letting you know. Even someone who's like supreme, like a Holly Berry, which, like I said, I really like, I endorse, I promote, I like her. The main problem is she doesn't identify as mulatta. That's a major problem. Okay. So watch that and pay no difference to the stupid propaganda against our kind, against mulattoes and other biracial people. Imitation of life is fake news. Yeah. Yeah. Your analysis is good. I don't know who's put the comment here. Just random YouTuber account. Yeah, but you put a lot of effort in your comment, a lot of thought. I appreciate that. You're right on. There is something wrong with you. This is nothing wrong with you. Okay, yeah. So back and forth comments here. Her daughter would experience the same in a black community. Interesting, right? The only difference, black men would jump over hoops and walk on fire for her, as many do for white looking mulattoes who are majority white. And some black women, as they do today, will give her hate and bully her. That happens a lot to mixed race girls who are racially ambiguous. Oh, yeah. Didn't the rapper Miss Mulatta, didn't she say that she was bullied in high school? And we're thinking to ourselves, well, wait a second. I thought the community was so accepting, Why were they bullied? Why did they try to pick on you? Because you're light skinned. I thought they were so accepting. I thought they accept everyone. That's the lie they tell these mulattoes. A lot of these mulattoes, they look confused and they don't know what to think at first. They find my channel, they find my platform, my social media, like, oh shit, this guy's telling the truth, but I don't like him. He's shattering my psyche. He's making me think. He's challenging, He's making me look like a coward. He's challenging me because what he's saying is true, and they have to reevaluate their situation. And so they kind of project their inner anger and animosity towards me, but it's like, bro, I'm not your enemy. I'm just presenting the information and you take it for how you see it. Like, are you getting the best deal from them? Is that your people? Do they claim you as one? Do they claim you as one of you, as being a part of their tribe? Or are they fickle? Will they kick you out of their tribe at the drop of a hat? If you do something they don't like, they'll remind you you're not like them, right? But see, it doesn't work the same with them. In their community, they can be the worst scum on the planet. We're talking about murderers. We're talking about sex offenders is the worst people on the planet, criminals, but yet they're still granted access to blackness. Their blackness is never questioned. They could be thugs, gangsters, criminals, the worst, but yet their blackness never questioned. But with you, with the mulatto or mulatta, you could be a very nice, good person, college educated, but if you do something they don't like, then they want to take your quote unquote black card. So are you really a part of their group? A lot of you guys are coming to that realization. You're having that epiphany. You're realizing, well, wait a second. What this man is saying, Mulatto Vanguard, he is saying something that's very accurate. Your acceptance with them is conditional, but amongst them and their own group, it's not conditional. They're just accepted because that's who they are. But with you, it's different. And you guys are you're questioning that. I'm not your enemy. I'm not trying to like position you guys as being. I challenge some people, but at the same time, I'm just saying I'm just presenting the data. It's how you guys take it that's on you. And if you don't agree with it, please tell me why. Don't just sit there and throw ad hominem attacks like that's going to help you out. You know, talk about, how I look or something like that. That's really not going to help you out. That's insignificant, especially when you're hiding behind an avatar, your damn self. You want to talk about me. It's like, okay, grow some balls first. Okay, buddy. So Celtic mulatto, another comment puts, accepted her blackness. She is a white woman phenotypically, right? In those days, many would have kept that a secret or not advertise it as it would destroy their future with a dominant society. Remember, white is at the top of the racial hierarchy, and no one with intelligence prefers to be at the bottom of the totem pole. It is best she moves to a liberal city far away from the crabs in the barrel. Who would want to expose her dual heritage as a mulatta? By the way, it's not much different today as whites is still at the top of the racial hierarchy and black, excuse me, apologize, and black is still at the bottom. Asian and mixed race with white is above black in America. Some people hate to hear the truth. It is what it is. Google racial hierarchy pyramid. He said Asian and mixed race with white is above black in America. And so he's stating the facts, you guys could not like the truth. Like he's saying here, people hate to hear the truth. Yeah, but it is. And that's kind of why I feel like there's this tug of war in grouping and out grouping. They want to trick you and convince you that you're black like them so they can claim your wins and for political purposes use you for numbers, right? And present you like a tool or trophy or proxy to society. But there's a lot of times they still hate you because they know you're more accepted in society than them. And they hate you for that. So it's a very weird position a lot of mulattoes find themselves in. Simple solution: create your own situation, create your own community, connect with people. There's enough mulattoes, enough biracials out here. Connect with them. Very simple. Problem solved. And trust me, they're going to try to dissuade you every corner. The fact that you're connecting with other mulattoes and you have a voice and you're using it, they hate that. They're going to try to say that's what's wrong about you. You're following mixed race content creators. You're talking to mixed race people from other countries. You're talking. So it's like they're going to try to position that as being a negative thing when you're doing everything positive that you should be doing, building a network. So they're going to do everything they can to try to get you off your square. So they want to maneuver you to serve them, that group. That's not really giving you a good deal. I mean, that's why you guys are here listening to me, right? Thank God at some point people started holding society accountable for its own hateful actions and doing things to change it, which is a better alternative to hiding from who you are. Living in fear and constantly looking over your shoulder. Mama was right. Lies will always mess you up. Says, I wouldn't say all that, but she was unrealistic and too old to be that naive. And I'm with Sarah Jane. There were black professional men, doctors, lawyers, accountants, shop owners, etc. Yeah, they had the Negro leagues as well. They had professional ball players. They had their own fucking, excuse my French, they had their own professional sports league, the Negro League. And those were like the best players in the whole world. That's why the whites didn't want them playing with them because the blacks would outperform them, right? So that's, yeah, so they already had their own institutions. So why wasn't Sarah Jane brought into those black institutions? Oh, because see, she's not like them unless they can use her, right? I mean, it's the same thing today. Why does she have to date a busboy or chauffeur? Her mother was way too buried in the class system. Yeah, she wanted to date a chauffeur or a busboy. That was the thing. Yeah. It's funny because, I have to think in those days, like a average remedial job like that, they probably got good money, you know? Like I was even talking to my own mom about like how things were back in, my mom's a boomer. So back in like the 50s and 60s. So my mom kind of lived this era, briefly. She was a kid, but during that time, but how it's like, yeah, one guy, like my grandfather had a factory job, but with his income, he could, pay the mortgage, support a family, right? With that one job, like things have changed drastically across the board for everybody, regardless of your race and background. Just the economy it affects everything. It changed everything, how it was back then, 50s, 60s. One income, one job was enough to even to buy a house, mortgage, pay for a mortgage, buy a car, support a family. Today, it's a little different. Like a guy like me, I'm juggling like three different jobs and hopping up on here on YouTube and really dedicated to this project. But it's interesting. So who knows? Back then, if you're a busboy or chauffeur, compared to what they make today, different times. It's just different times. The nuances there with the generation is interesting. It's complex, but Sarah isn't mixed. In parts of America at the time, there was no mix. If you had a drop, you were black. Sarah's father was very light skinned, and it seems she thought that with her being kind of dark, their daughter would be a medium tone, not whiter looking than her father, which is generally true, but that's not guaranteed. It wasn't, the character, maybe they didn't have the best character to play, regardless. Nobody didn't showcase the father, but Sarah Jane, I think the lady is mixed, but she's like Latina and Caucasian, if I'm not mistaken, guys. I apologize. Should have probably did my research before I jumped into this. Like, I just want to examine the comments mainly from mulatto perspective. But Sarah Jane, the lady who played the actress, she wasn't even mulatta, from my understanding. So, but in the case if they want to portray her as being mulatta, well, phenotypically, her facial bone structure, she doesn't have like negroid features, right? So it's like not whiter looking at her father, which is generally true, but that's not guaranteed. And they talk about like the tone, medium tone or skin tone, but she just phenotypically she doesn't have the hair texture as them. She doesn't have the bone structure. So it's like she's just doesn't look like them at all. And that's the thing that people want to kind of dance around that reality. You don't even look like them. You're a guy like me growing up, in California, people think you're like Puerto Rican or they think I'm like Brazilian or something, you know? It's like, yeah, I don't look like them, like the Kendrick Lamar crowd. Like we're not the same. It says, I do believe in the book they were married. He went out for a pack of cigarettes. Annie is in the black community. She's a maid to a very wealthy woman. That was her job, right? She's a maid to a wealthy white woman. Live-in maids were a thing, and getting a position as one while having a kid was very lucky thing. And light and mixed kids have always been a thing in the black community, especially when massa couldn't stay out of the slave quarters. Oh, this is a black guy here. Fran, San, Teeth, or black female, whatever. But they're pushing the whole slave. They always cling on to that slave narrative, right? Especially in massacre stay out of the slave quarters. Kids can be cruel though. Just ask Fatty, Four Eyes, Lumpy, Pee Wee, Welfare, Willie, and Stinky what they think of Lil Miss 50/50. Yeah. Sarah Jane wasn't mixed race. Her father was fair, light skinned black man. Well, it's funny because in some of these discussions and circles here in this corner of the internet, interwebs, some of these people they're claiming they're actually the real mulattoes and they're like light skinned and they got a giant nose that takes up half of their face. So it's like they don't even have like the European kind of facial symmetry, facial structure, but they have light skin. That's the metric they have. They have the light skin. So they're sitting there saying that they're the real mulattoes. It's like, I don't know. But then you have guys like this who jump up here, put comments or like, well, they're not mixed race. They're black. They're just light skin. We're like, nobody can make up their mind. Like nobody comes up with any kind of rules or metric to like be concrete and consistent. That's the issue. Like when you have these discussions, I already laid it out initially. A mulatto has one white parent and one black parent or two mulatto parents, period. Okay, we know ours. Sometimes we might get a little tricked up, but for the most part, I think we're pretty good. Especially with me. I mean, I know with my own efforts, like I said, I kind of capture ads and advertisements and stuff like that in the Discord, and I share it with some people, and I think I'm pretty good at observing people who are our people. I'm very curious as it relates to what you look like or identify as with that perspective. Are you serious? Am I understanding you correctly? A mother is supposed to deny relationship to her child because they don't look alike? Also, why exactly are you suggesting that a mother who is obviously black be jealous of her child who's racially ambiguous? Well, let's not play dumb because even if they're monoracial, if they're black or white or Asian or Latina, it does not matter their racial category. That's very common. I don't know if I want to say it's very common, but it happens frequently more than not where there's jealousy component within the familial structure where the mother can be jealous of the daughter. If the daughter's prettier, the daughter gets more attention. Well, you'll have this kind of vicarious nature where the parent will try to live through their child vicariously. It happens with males too, where if the son is a star athlete and the father like never made it to the big leagues, so he'll live through like his child and they'll try to control their child that way. And there's a jealousy component. So that is very common. It does happen in families. So let's not play games and act like it doesn't, like it's out of bounds. I've never experienced that to my knowledge, but I do know it does exist out here. I've heard some things, I've seen some stories, so I can suggest that, yeah, there's a lot of mothers, and daughters where the mother is jealous of the daughter. So if people put comments, they suggest that that could happen with the Sarah Jane situation. Yeah, it's very plausible. That's a reality. What are you suggesting? A mother is jealous of the child? Same commenter, huh? Tiffany Bolden. Yeah, yeah, probably happen. Yeah. Especially when Massa couldn't stay out of the slave quarters. That statement has always puzzled me for years as to why they didn't. You would think that the hatred they had towards them, they would rather die to have sex with one. It just goes to show the sick, twisted, and wicked mindset. So these guys replying to Creole Lady, the Creole Queen. It's not impossible because most black people in America got a taste of white DNA from slavery. Yeah, we all hear that from you guys. That doesn't make you mixed or mulatto. Sorry. That will pop up heads up with the right connection. I used to think if the mother was black, the kids would be yellow, like Tia and Tamara. The was that Sister Sister? I love that show because I'm a '90s baby. So Sister Sister was definitely on the tube with all the other shows, right? And have curlier hair. And if the mother was white, they'd be Mariah Carey-ish. Yeah. I don't know, this guy or gal, whatever, they're tripping. Like the mother's DNA was more dominant, but I've seen some interesting combinations, the results over the years. So can never call it. Yeah, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You can't tell. You don't know what you're talking about. This is all just what hyperbole we can say. Yeah, I said not impossible as anything is possible with genetics, but highly unlikely. And then Celtic, someone, oh, this guy, Regina or gal, Regina Hurd says to Celtic Mulatto, thought I was the only one who felt like this. Her mother wanted that white acknowledgement. Yes. She wanted to prop up her mulatta child to white society for recognition. Because remember, the mom was like a housemaid. So she worked for whites, right? So like she was always gearing and aiming for white acceptance. She worked for them. That was her massa, right? Paid her bills. And she had a white passing child. And so that's consistent theme there. So she wanted to use her mulatta daughter for acceptance with white society, kind of prop her up as a trophy. And there's a lot of people who don't want to acknowledge that. They just want to focus on Sarah Jane and how she denied her blackness and she treated her mom bad and all this stuff. But it's like, well, how did the mom treat her? Like she was an object. That they didn't see the humanity in mulatto people. That's why I'm here to provide clarity. They look at you as you are a tool, a proxy, a buffer class. This is when you examine the racist in their rhetoric and their commentary, all on YouTube and social media, they look at you as a tool, as a proxy, as a buffer class between black and white. They don't look at you as your own personhood. They look at you as like an auxiliary, basically utilitarian class of people where you got to be with us. If you're not with us, you're with them. And like they have this mindset. I'm trying to get mulattoes to get the hell out of that mindset. Get out of it. Seek refuge with other mulattoes who identify with you, period. You have no other choice. You're not going to, especially moving into the future. Okay. Just do your due diligence, do your homework. You don't have to like me. Okay. I'm just a guy just doing my job. I'm just doing what I can out here. That's it. I'm sure dad let mom know that she was just his closet freak before she got prego, right? A lot of like I said, over 2,600. So where are we at? We're about an hour into this. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it short. I'm gonna read a couple more comments, cut it short. But like I said, I'm gonna break. This is gonna be basically a series right now on this channel moving forward because there's so much commentary here and I can just examine these comments with you guys. I want you guys to be engaged as well, put some comments, but eventually the video that's on this channel, I'm going to delete it because it's not even my original content, right? But for whatever reason, it kind of went quote unquote viral for my standards. There's like over 400,000, half a million close views, 2,000, over 2,600 comments. So for whatever reason, within the algorithm, this video kind of picked up. So people are commenting. So it's a good thing. But yeah, I'm gonna kind of break this down into several streams because, like I said, right now I'm already kind of tired. Already an hour. I don't want to go overboard with these live streams. The only light skin, depending on what you mean by light skin, as that subjective, are most Igbos, yeah, Nigerian, right? And Kosan, which is South African, right? Who are pure a light skin, right? Brown complexion, beige like Drake, and all mixed race. Occasionally, you may have a black person who has an admixture European ancestry, is predominantly black, and they inherit the light complexion gene from a European ancestor. However, their phenotype is still black sub-Saharan African, not mixed race or European. Exactly, because you'll have people who are like they have lighter skin or caramel skin, but they got a giant nose. They got big full lips, they call it, right? And hair texture. And that's the thing when you see where they have like a giant nose, they have like negroid features, but yeah, they have lighter skin. Well, clearly, like that genetic marker of you know, I'm not a geneticist, so I'm not gonna even pretend to act like I am. But you guys, fill me in. For those of you who are so educated, fill me in, please. I'm here. I'm all ears. I'm just covering the history stuff. I'm not going to do the biology and genetics. I'm talking about the character in the movie and what was said in the dialogue in the movie. Going, okay, let me see if I can kind of finish up these comments. At this point, I just don't care. Nobody was even talking to you. So, yeah, I see people are going back and forth, jibber jabbering. Kind of funny, kind of slightly. Slightly. I think that's it for that. That is it for that. Yeah, that is it for that. An hour deep. I just kind of covered, I think, how many comments was that? That was literally just a scratching the surface, the beginning, but there were so many comments underneath that one initial comment. So I think that was a total of like 62 comments around there that I scrolled through, which is fine. Shout out to Blue Jay. She did her mama dirty, but her mother didn't instill pride in her properly. America doesn't have a strong mixed race community. It's going to in the future. It's going to. I don't think you're mixed race. You're a black person that has had mixtures. You're not mulatto. I appreciate you being over here. But the mulattoes over here, like they're gonna have to basically wake up and smell the coffee. If they want a strong mixed race community, mulattoes are gonna have to develop a code. They're gonna develop cohesion, uh, uphold the mulatto identity, embrace mulatto history, seek refuge with mulattoes, do business with other mulattoes. Like it's on you. Everybody else does that in their other communities. So why can't mulattoes? Why are mulattoes still stuck thinking they have to cling on like to the black community for survival when you have all the tools right in front of you? Everything's right in front of you. Everything is right in front of you. It's right in front of me. I'm speaking to you live right now. All the tools we have is right in front of us. It's just, are you going to take the next step to initiate it? That's the question. I appreciate you guys being here. If you guys like the stream, I really appreciate that. Like the stream, post a comment, let me know what you think, and I will see you guys on the next one. Sayonara.